Hello everyone, this is Meg at Chasing Retro, and I am decorating the Sesame Street journals, some of them, the ones that are already sewn together, and I thought I would just turn the camera on unscripted. It's loud right now at my house. I have the dishwasher and dryer running, so you'll just have to excuse that background noise, but I thought I might just bring you along for a little bit of the process of how I go page by page and decide what goes on each one. These journals have everything already sewn that needs sewing that is attached to the journal. I try to do that before they're stitched together. I decided with these to staple the fabric tabs instead of sewing them. That just gave me some more flexibility as far as when I put them on and where I place them. But occasionally I'll use my sewing machine before, like I'll stitch around a pocket before I come back and glue it down. But everything that is stitched into the book is in the book. And so now what I do is I sort of go through more than once. The first time I go through, I mainly focus on places to put ephemera. So I'll try to put all the pockets and belly bands and corner flips and tuck spots and stuff like that. Then I go back through after that, and that's when I will glue on trims along the edge of the page that I'm gluing instead of sewing, and a lot of these are going to be glued on versus sewn. I'm not going to have a ton of page edge decorations on these because these are Sesame Street journals. These are not going to be frilly by any means. But yeah, I sort of go through one time through and do pockets and tuck spots, and then I go through again and I do the decorating. The center of the signatures for these is just going to be a tied bow, because the charms that I have planned for these are going to be on something that's removable from the journal. So there will still be a charm dangle, and there's still going to be a tassel, but it will not be attached to this. And I'll show you that later when I get to that point with these. That's probably one of the last things I'll do before wrapping these up. So this is one of the ones that's reserved. It's one of my favorite stories from childhood. My mom used to read it with so much animation and interactivity, and I just have great memories about it. And then I have this little fussy cut of Grover with a ball that I put here. This one may end up with photo corners. This one may end up with book corners because this bottom corner is quite dented, but I'm not really sure yet. I kind of want to wait till the end to see how I feel about that. I also decided normally, sometimes I'll make the pages, what I'm saying is the pages are right up to the top of this book. They don't always turn out that way, but because these illustrations in these books were so full of details, I didn't want to trim off any more than necessary from the top or the bottom. So they're going to be to the edge for the most part on most of them. But I have added a pocket so far. I really like to do a double pocket on the first page. I don't know why. I just feel like this is the page, this is the showcase page. This is where you can put all of your best looking tags and ephemera, and it can kind of spill out of two different pockets. It also allows you to put something a little more three-dimensional to decorate, like a cluster with something pinned on or something. Because you generally have a little bit more wiggle room right here, and also anything you put in the center, on the center signature pockets. You just have a little more space to give, in my mind anyway. I don't know if that's technically true or not. It just feels like there's more breathe room if you do that. The second page behind that first page, I almost always put a belly band. Sometimes it's vertical, sometimes it's horizontal. And this one was from one of the the 1970s Sesame Street magazine that had a little game called One of These Things Is Not Like the Other. You probably remember that song. And so this one was apples, and then you have a rogue tomato in there. And I made them into, where did they go? Oh, here they are. I backed several with cardstock. And I thought I had more than this. I guess I just have 3. To make belly bands for some of these. So flipping through, here's a tuck spot that I added. I decided I don't always sew around things that I put in. It also reduces the bulk if you don't do that. I also don't always back things to cardstock, but I decided to for him because his hand, like these things right here, are so flimsy if I were to just leave it paper, that it wouldn't really feel like much of a tuck spot. It would feel, I guess the only thing you'd want to tuck behind it would be something really thin. But this would allow you to put maybe a thicker tag or something. Also, anytime you anytime you back any images like this onto cardstock or file folder, know that is increasing the bulk of your journal overall. So kind of think through that as you're doing that. This is cardstock, but it's very thin cardstock, so I just made a upside down pocket. Sorry, my words are just jumbled today. I think I'm trying to talk too fast. I normally don't like to talk fast. This was a fun little flip out, and so here, this was from one of the Sesame Street it was the Book of Numbers, and it was a relatively substantial paper, so I did not back it with anything. You just need to use caution when you put things in this pocket. This was an offcut strip from a 12 by 12 that I made into a belly band, and then I had a fussy cut of Bert, and I just used my 1 3/4 inch punch to back him onto and stuck him in the middle. And then on the back here, another thing that I like to do is if I'm tucking, this one is fine because it's spreading the bulk through the whole page. This one, you're gonna have more bulk at the bottom. So when that happens on the other side of it, or in this case here, I like to put more of the bulk on the top. It sort of balances the pages out, and you don't end up with a book that's like heavy on the bottom, but not as much, thickness on the top. I kind of like to alternate top and bottom or left and right. I probably think more about this than most people. I don't necessarily want my journals to lay flat, because to me, a full journal is a fun journal, but I do try to make them feel a little balanced. So here I already have 2 pockets, and I'm not going to decorate them right now. I'm not going to do anything right now with these. They're ready for ephemera. When I go back and I decorate the pockets that aren't already decorated, I'll add something here. And that will probably just mean I need to spend a whole day making clusters, because I really do like to put clusters on these, either one on one side and nothing on the other, or something that stretches across. So this will stay as it is until I get a cluster made. This flips out, but I probably will not put any pockets or tuck spots, because this is just ledger paper and don't want to make it too weighty. I'll probably just add a fussy cut decoration at, when the time comes. Like this guy would be perfect for that. One thing that you could put on pages like this is just that's not a ton of weight, is a little paper flip pad. So you could put 3 or 4 pieces of paper, stitch them together, and then glue them here. So I may end up going back and doing that. Here's another flip out, and this one is white on the back, so there is a lot of ample room for something. Honestly, I'm thinking for this page, I wonder if this might be a good place to put a fabric pocket. You know what? It's not, because a fabric pocket tends to have a little more billowing feel. And if you're wanting this to tuck nicely here and close, it's not going to. So let's scratch that idea. What else do I have to pick from? We recently did a belly band. A Rita flip wouldn't work here because again, it pops up. I'm telling you, a lot of this is just trial and error. It really is. I think right here what I want to do is do a side pocket. So I'll reserve the side pocket for this panel. This panel, honestly, I see that I already have a wallpaper pocket, which would have been great because wallpaper is strong but thin for the most part. I think right here what I might do is one of my decoupage napkins. Looking at this, it does not look straight to me. Do y'all ever do that? Maybe the napkin's just a little off center and it just looks weird to me. You know what though? Look at this. I'm not liking this either because off-white, white, off-white. It's just too white. I also see that this napkin has torn a little bit on Cookie's mouth, so I'm going to trim that off. There we go. That is a cleaner edge. So this will definitely go somewhere in this journal, and we can find a spot for it. I just don't think this is the right spot. I know I need to change my blade when I get little peach fuzz after cutting. I usually try to put it off as long as I can. Let's go ahead and find a place for this though. I need something, you know what? On the back of this might be perfect. Y'all can't see it because I'm out of frame, but look. I think this is perfect. We need to trim this down a little bit. It still looks crooked to me. I don't know why. Let's put it here and see if it's square. It's not. It's this side that's crooked. I thought I was not dreaming. No. Yep, that's it. This other edge must not be even either. But that's okay. We're going to cut one side off to make it fit on here. Okay, so now which side is not even? This one. Okay, let's trim this, and I need to trim it up until the point of Elmo's mouth. So y'all are probably saying, hey, I thought you weren't gonna put Elmo in here. Well, there will not be much Elmo. I know we have Elmo fans out here. I'm not trying to exclude a fan favorite. I was trying as best as I could to keep these with the original crew and cast of the, you know, really early Sesame Streets, late 70s through mid 80s, but I have to work with what I have. You know, I did not have any napkins without Elmo. The only napkins I have was this, which is something that a subscriber gifted me with in Happy Meal. So obviously I'm going to use them. But don't worry, there are plenty of other original cast and characters in these. Okay, I think I'm gonna sew around the edges just for a finished look, and also because napkin decoupaging can sometimes lift up over time. Be right back. Okay, there we go. I have royal blue thread in my machine right now. I've been using variegated sort of 70s color thread, but I am almost out of that, so I switched to the royal blue earlier today, or yesterday. I hope you guys are enjoying your day so far. I can't even keep track of what day it is this week for some reason. I thought it was Wednesday all morning. It's Thursday. The beginning of the week started off very slow, and I feel like it just took off at warp speed about halfway through. Okay, so while I'm using Fabri-Tac, let's talk about Fabri-Tac glue. I saw a lot of y'all haul some at Hobby Lobby that had been marked down to $4.99 or something for clearance, which is great. That's a great price for it. But I started wondering, I never found it in my store, by the way. I looked, they were all gone. I started wondering and worrying a little bit, wait a minute, does that mean they're gonna stop carrying Fabri-Tac? And would y'all believe that I've been to 2 different Hobby Lobbies in the past 2 weeks and nobody has a spot for them anymore? They have the small, this one, the 3-in-1, the small one, which is kind of like Fabri-Tac, but it also glues things like gems. They have that one, but the Fabri-Tac is gone and there's no space for either size Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix anymore. Y'all, I think Hobby Lobby discontinued it. So that's not good. It's great that people got it for $4.99, but I don't think everybody realized that might have been the last time we buy that at Hobby Lobby. So I've started researching alternative sources, and it looks like I'm gonna need to start ordering it from Walmart. And I'm gonna pay about, I think like this one was $9.99, which it's been for a while at Hobby Lobby. The cheapest I could find at Walmart was $11.05, and it's like 3 days to get to my house. So I'm gonna have to plan ahead and increase my glue budget a little bit, because I just have not found a good alternative to Fabri-Tac. But that's really sad to me. I guess it just wasn't selling. I mean, why else would Hobby Lobby let it go if it just was not moving and maybe the glue was getting, you know how it gets when it sits too long? That's the only thing I can figure. But it's so sad. I really, really, really hope that craft stores stick around. Like, I'm starting to really worry that even stores like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, maybe their days are numbered. I hope not. I really hope not. It's up to us to keep them going, right? I think we need to, I don't know. I know I'm going to think about that more when I'm tempted to just order something from, you know, a website that sends me stuff from overseas. I'm going to really think about what would happen if I didn't have Hobby Lobby anymore. I need to support Hobby Lobby. This is a little bit too tall for a pocket. I really think I want to do a book page pocket here. This is cute. That might be perfect. But it's thin, so I'm going to need to back it with something. I'm going to back it with this because I never use this. I don't really use birthday paper, and I got some in a Hobby Lobby grab bag one time. So I need to cut this off about there. Y'all let me know if y'all's Hobby Lobbies are still carrying that glue, because if it is, if there's still a spot for it and it's back to regular price, I have hope that maybe they're not discontinuing it, but I'm a little bit nervous about that. I don't want to lose my source of glue at a good price. we all know that these have gone up in the past few years like crazy. I'm about to have to buy some at Dollar Tree, although my Dollar Tree never has them. They're always out of stock. So I bought these thinking I was saving money by getting more of the skinnier ones. No. These, I'm going through these so fast. I normally buy the same brand, but the really jumbo glue stick. I am going through these like 4 a day. It's crazy. I feel like I almost feel like the recipe is different. It's sort of I don't know, it's not as solid. So I feel like I use more than I want to use. I think this is great that Bert is reading boring stories. I am really having a really fun time with these. I just think I majorly underestimated how much time it was going to take me to do them all. I was thinking the end of June, no problem, I can get them done by the end of June. Yet we're going to be going into July, I'm afraid. It's just 11 journals. And I had no pre-made ephemera to go in them. Like, I'm having to make everything, which is fun, really fun, as y'all know. Mass making ephemera and making a ton of the same kind of stuff is fun, but it's for 11 journals, that's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. My glue is still wet. It's not punching very well. Okay, and I think I'm gonna put a little bit of a, the pocket thing, whatever this is called, the divot. And I'm gonna ink it. I don't think I'm gonna sew this one though. So I'll need to go back. I didn't think about that when I glued this down. If it starts to lift, I'm gonna need to use some liquid glue to set it down. But again, I'm just trying to reduce the bulk, and especially in these pockets that are going underneath the fold out. Ideally, I would let this dry really well before I work with it, because see how it's just, there's so much glue on here, it's just kind of like malleable. That's okay. It'll try to curl as it dries too, but this would be funny with the caption right here, but I'll have to add that later. Yeah, this is perfect to go here. And it brings some color to an otherwise white page. You know what? Let me check all the edges before I glue this down. Everything may have stuck really well. Well, let's see. Oh, let's see a little bit of lift right here. Okay. I have been enjoying this a lot of time at my craft desk. Watching and catching up on videos of you guys. I have watched a lot of the newer uploads of the people that I'm subscribed to, and I haven't always gotten a chance to comment. But just know that if I watch your video, I like it to boost your views and everything. And if I can stop what I'm doing and I don't have glue on my hands, I'll leave a quick comment. But you guys are creating some awesome stuff right now. I'm seeing a lot of glue books being made, which is really fun for summer because, you know, it's something that you can make to take with you on vacation or something, or it's just a fun summer diversion, I think, playing in a glue book. Ernie is up to no good. Look at that grin. He has something planned for Bert. Some of these Sesame Street stories are quite chaotic. There's just, especially the ones with Ernie, he is just trouble. He plans elaborate pranks on Bert. All right, let's put a side pocket right here. And you can't really see, but right here to my right is a huge stack of cutoffs when I was doing cutting off to trim down pages for each book. A ton of them. So I have a lot to pick from. I'll try to exhaust these first before I go into my scrap basket. This is one of my favorite digitals that I used in these. Have I used this yet in this journal? Let's look. If I haven't, this might be one to add. I'm trying to let each journal have its own feel, but if I find a favorite like this, I really want to put a little bit in every journal. Okay, I put this one, but I don't think I put this one. And it just feels retro to me. Yeah, I think we definitely need to add this as the side pockets right here. Even though it will be, the letters will be sideways, that's okay. I'm gonna trim it a little bit because it's a little wide. I'm just knocking over stuff. If y'all saw how cluttered my desk was right now, y'all would, well, some of y'all might feel right at home, but others of you might have a slight panic attack. It's bad. It's always bad when I have a series of journals, but it's especially bad because I'm making 11. All right, I need to cut it right at the beginning of that G, or C, rather. Yep. I'm also trying to ink the edges of most of this stuff because I want it to look vintage. A lot of times with primary color journals, I don't do that because I just want things to stay bright, but I really want this to look a little aged. I think my dauber is starting to degrade. It leaves fuzz. Alrighty, we can glue that down. And I may go back and add something here, I don't know. I don't want to overly embellish these because there's already so much going on some of these colors and patterns. I don't want to overwhelm the eye. You want certain things to stand out. If everything is busy, then nothing will stand out, so. My cat behind me thinks I'm talking to him. He's talking back to me. He's napping in my desk chair today. All right. Cute. This will be a fun place to tuck a few pieces of ephemera that aren't very visible from the outside. I really should have a paper towel next to me. Oops. No, you can't get on the desk, bud. I'm sorry. You think I'm talking to you. I know. I'm not. But you can be my buddy, though. Okay. I might leave this, not put any pockets or anything here, but I will probably add an image of some sort. We have a pocket here. We have a bag here, which is a pocket. I did have some torn pages in some of these books, so I used some aged tape to hide that. Okay, this, honestly, this is probably going to be a fabric flip or a flip pad. And I don't have my fabric prepared. I need to iron it and cut it, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'll come back. Okay, I'm so excited about these, y'all. Each journal in this series will have a transparent pocket, and normally I make these out of acetate, but this is, you probably can't tell by looking at it, but it is not acetate. It is the roll of, I guess, plastic that you buy at fabric stores that you would use to cover furniture. You know, like when you go in people's houses and their couches are covered in plastic or their bedspreads are covered in plastic. It's that. And I found a roll of it on the remnant clearance bin at Hobby Lobby probably 3 years ago. And I'm ashamed to say that I am just now using it, but it's so cool. It's very thick, but it's so, it's not rigid like acetate. And I feel like it allows for more things to be put in here. The only problem was because it's not as slick as acetate, it feels more like, I mean, it has a grip to it. It's a gripped type finish on it. It kept grabbing onto either the plate of my sewing machine or the bottom of the foot, and I had to go really slow, and I kept having to unstick it. So thought about using cooking spray at one point. I was like, oh, come on. So you can't just mindlessly start sewing on this stuff. I had to go very slow. As you can see right here, my needle did not want to advance at all. I probably sewed 20 stitches right here. And then finally it grabbed a hold of the paper behind it and let go of the plastic, and it advanced. But oh my goodness, it was interesting. So if you ever use this stuff, know that sewing machines need a little help going over it. But I just love the way it is. I've never used it before. I don't think it's gonna get as scratched and dingy looking as acetate does over time. Time will tell, I guess. Okay, so here is the wallpaper pocket, and it's not decorated yet. And here on this other side, I generally like to do like a Rita flip. So I think I'll do that on the top since we have one on the bottom here. And I need to find one that is a square. I usually try to use one that's a square about a 4x4 square, 3.5 by 3.5 square. So let's find something in my discard pile. This is cool. This is another piece of wallpaper. I'm not going to use it here because it's too similar, but I did have an extra piece of wallpaper left over. This is not 3 inches, I don't think. Oh, is it 3.5? But I don't like the way it looks against that. So no, we will not use that. This is pretty busy, so I probably need to find something not quite so crazy. I may have to go out of my discard pile and go into my other folder. My This is cool. This is 3.5 inches. But I feel like it's just too dark because this is dark. Let's keep going. Honestly, I may end up using something like this. Just plain orange. Yeah, let's do that. It's plain, but I can decorate the front. This is a cut-off piece of a, I bought some really large cardstock at Hobby Lobby on clearance, and this is a cut-off from that. So this is 4 1/4. So let's make it 4. And I'll cut off that quarter because I don't want it any wider than 4, I don't think. I don't always like to use cardstock for these Rita flips either because I think regular paper works just fine, and it's not quite so, it's easier to lay down, but in this case, the orange just looks too perfect with this, so we'll go with it. These are also harder to fold. I know most of y'all are probably screaming, use your scoreboard, and I probably should be, but do y'all like my pen? I found this at Hobby Lobby a while back. I love it. It looks kind of like a Muppet head. Okay, super cool. Let's ink it. Somehow I didn't fold this quite straight. Let's trim off. I'm really bad at making anything perfectly symmetrical, so just don't look too closely at my work, please. There's a reason why I did not go into civil engineering or architecture. Buildings would not be safe with me as their designer. All right, I don't always do this, but I feel like I want to ink the inside also. All right. I probably will not decorate this yet. I may end up doing like a cluster with a button or something, so I'll do that later. The main thing is to stay focused when doing this and remind yourself your goal. Constantly remind myself of my goal. Today, my goal is to get pockets and tuck spots into this journal and as many others as I can before it gets dark and I can't see. Oh, I wish I'd grabbed a paper towel. I'm not supposed to get this glue on my skin. It's not good for anybody's skin, but I'm actually allergic to it, so. Oh, goodness. If they made glue that worked this well, I would use another glue, but I just haven't found a good substitute yet. All right, that's cute and ready to be embellished. This just looks like Sesame Street to me. I love it. All right, so this one, I feel like I want to do another side pocket here. What do I have in my pile? Some of these pages I know I already have in this journal, so I'm going to steer clear of those because I want to try to keep it This is very similar to what's on the back, but I don't know, that one's a little bit too big to be a side pocket. The print is too big. This is cool, but I don't know that it would look good or be wide enough. Maybe if I add something on top of it. And then again, that's not really the same color green, but it looks cool, doesn't it? I think it does. Maybe I should add some trim. Let's do that, because I just looked over and saw some trim I got at Hobby Lobby that looks very Muppet-like. Yeah, we're gonna do that. First, let me make a mark. This is just going to be a little bit more of a narrow side pocket, and that's fine. I'm going to leave the edge. I'm not going to round the corners like I normally do because I'm putting trim. I will ink the edges though. Even on the part that you probably won't be able to see very well, because I will know it's there. So for putting trim on, I like to move books out of the way just in case, excuse me, just in case I get stuff on it. I don't really have a good place to bear down right now, so I'll use this. Let me get a drink. All right. Here is the Muppet trim. I know y'all bought these before at Hoblob. These bundles of trim. I got the one that just looked the most like Sesame Street. And I really like this yellow right here. So I'm gonna pull it out. How fun. It's like a tiny little rug trim. All right, the easiest way for me to do this is to put glue on the, not on the trim, put it on the green. This glue is starting to get gummed up. It's getting cloudy outside. I wonder if we're gonna get a storm. We had a really bad storm the other night and it brought a tree down. Not a big tree. It was a small tree, but nevertheless, we have to clean it up. We had 65-mile-an-hour wind gust. It was really crazy. Okay. So cute. Oops, didn't get it to the edge. There we go. I always flip it over to make sure it looks even on the other side, to make sure I put it on straight. And then we cut the end off. I'm surprised my cats haven't seen this trim yet and tried to attack it. Look how cute that is. Adorable. I think by far the hardest thing for me to find, and the thing I wish, if you ask me what is one thing you think you would need more of in your stash, it's trims that go on the edge. I have a lot of trims that are, you know, the same on both sides, you know what I mean? Like, you know, just a wide symmetrical piece of ribbon or whatever. But anything that's like bumpy or fringed or anything like that, I have such a hard time finding it, either new or vintage. I don't know why that is. I mean, you can find tons of it for home decor because, you know, you put it on the edges of pillows and stuff. But I feel like the small stuff like this, very hard to find. That's why I love pom-pom trim so much. And I'm up in the air about whether or not I put pom-pom trim on these. I'm gonna kind of just wait and see. Maybe at the very end I'll hold it up and see if I like the way it looks. I don't know. I mean, they kind of do look Muppet-like if you think about it, like little Muppet heads. I don't know. We'll see. That's one of those embellishments you can add at the very last minute if you just want to. That is super cute. I love the way that turned out, and I like the way it reflects some of the colors on the opposite page, like on his cape. All right, how long has this been going? Oh goodness, it's been 48 minutes. I tell you what, this is why it takes me so long to get these done. So I'm gonna stop the camera for now. I don't want to put up too many videos that are like an hour or so long, because I know that not everybody likes those. But I'll stop it for now. I hope this gave you a little bit of a glimpse though into not only how are these guys coming, but my thought process when I'm going through and adding stuff to journals. It really is. Everyone is a little bit different, and it's a case-by-case basis on what I do to each page. Like this one, I really don't like this stuff to show, so I'll probably put something long and thin, a pocket here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if there is something that you didn't know that I said. Probably not. Maybe there's something that you haven't thought of before that I did, or maybe there's something that I should have done that you couldn't tell me that I should have done it. Let me know that too. I'm always looking to improve my process and get a little bit faster with my process, and just learn new techniques all the time. I always want to be learning and doing new things. Thanks for watching today, and you guys have an enjoyable evening. See you soon.